Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. What a week it's been. It's been a up and down. It's been honestly probably the most disappointing in Destiny history for me. I think I've been, the last time I was this disappointed was Lightfall, and I feel like I'm experiencing that again. And we're going to talk about Rites of the Nine, by the way. I'm not going to talk about the expansion stuff, though. That's part of the big issue is that the future of Destiny has never looked more non-Destiny outside of Edge of Feet, which is everyone for some reason has a foot fetish in the community. I don't know, but just as a throw to you guys, I posted, if you want to come, you know, maybe I should use my words correctly. If you hang out at the channel and you come over here to post, if you, I don't know if you can look at it on phone. But I ask questions. I use this quite often for polls, just to see where people are at. So I posted one for you guys. All right. I've been thinking about how the channel is growing and where I want to take my hobby with the channel. By the way, this is a hobby. This is not a job. Though I do get paid by it, it is still a hobby. I have a full-time job. Recently, of how games have been and how companies like Nintendo, Bungie, and Ubisoft have been going. I've shat on Ubisoft, Nintendo, and Bungie obviously a lot. I've been very openly critical of these billion-dollar companies. I think it's time for a change to the identity of the channel. Instead of Mr. Gaming Counselor, I'll be stepping away from the Counselor's Office into the Critic Studio. That's the idea. Let me know if you think the change is good or not with your vote. Don't worry, you'll still be called scholars. The whole identity of Mr. Gaming Counselor has kind of warped and changed into more critical and analyzing and reviews. Like some of the best content is literally the reviews. They do the best. Outside of this, obviously, you know, most of the best stuff is when I review or criticize or bring some critiques of some or reactions too. Right, that's some of the best content. Obviously, we'll still have the single player campaigns, but I want you guys to vote, your voice being heard about whether it's Mr. Gaming Counselor or Mr. Gaming Critic. I'm not going to stop being critical. In fact, it's probably going to ramp up. I'm going to be even more critical, and I'm going to try to do so in a way that is less more objective and a little less subjective. That way it's easier to piss everyone off and then use it against them, because then they're having emotional reactions and I'll be like, bitch, you're reacting based on emotion, whereas I have logic. I love pointing that out about people who are getting emotional. That also means some of the crash outs are going to be removed unless they're live. Obviously, if I get emotional on stream and I have a crash out, you know, there it is. But for videos where I edit control, they're going to be more funneled. But yeah, I just want to make this point out. This might be the future of the channel. Just welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Critic Studio. I'm Mr. Gaming Critic. Scholars. See, that's how it would go. I'm Mr. Gaming Critic here, the counselor who's also a critic. I don't know. The tagline needs to be worked on if I do it. But cast your votes. There's like 2,000 of you and I only got 100. And most people like Mr. Gaming Counselor. So enough yippity yap yap. I'm going to play this in the background. We're going to talk about, while this is playing, we're going to talk about Rites of the Nine. And my first impressions. I've beaten and gotten gold on all of Ultimate. I have done a review on the weapons. I've done explore mode. So let's start about the positives before I shit on this event. This event as a free to play is fantastic for new players, returning players, and players who've never completed a dungeon. Explore mode is phenomenal. I do think it needs a little bit more fine tuning, just a little bit more fine tuning. But as you can see from the gameplay, it literally tells you step by step what to do. I just wish it was more actual, like step 1, step 2, instead of just do all these and, you know, hope for the best. But outside of that, this is an experience that people can go at their own pace. It is challenging, but not so much to the point where it's impossible to do. There's no wiping. There's no hard punishment for doing a bad job. It is a learning experience that you can go at your own pace. You can play solo. You can play with a group of people. This is what Destiny needs. This is absolutely what Destiny... Like, I wish that this wouldn't go away. I wish this mode would stay. And I think it's a crime and a sin for Bungie not to keep the Explore mode as just part of the mode for Spire of the Watcher. Absolutely. The Explore mode is phenomenal. You can have friends play with you. You can go solo. You can do LFG and not feel like you're wasting your time because there's literally no way to fail. Bungie did a phenomenal job at removing the restrictions that would normally cause people to check out and not care about dungeons. And dungeons is like the most popular end game, and then raids are the second, right? In my personal opinion, I would like to see raids do the same situation here, where they remove all the wipe, the wipe mechanics, or if there's a wipe mechanic, you can just start over again, right? There's no tokens and just A, B, C, just like you see on the screen, that it does the same. But Explore mode is the perfect starting point for Bungie to make the game more accessible for new players, casual players, and players who've maybe been playing for years, but it felt so, you know, whelmed. They felt whelmed about endgame content, like it's out of reach. This provides that at a level that anyone can do. And I played in the most haphazard, non-meta, like I played with just random gear without trying to min-max. And it is very easy to do. It is very easy to play the content with, you can turn your brain off and still have a good time. And if you're a new player and you're learning the mechanics, it's very nice for that factor, right? I want Bungie to do more of this. I want Bungie to continue to experiment. I think if the Destiny is going to ever bring people back, or even if they decide to do a Destiny 3, which I don't think so, but if they're ever going to continue the chain of having Destiny have any kind of relevance, they need to pull new players and maintain the player population it has, because right now the player population is hemorrhaging. It's like, it's almost non-existent compared to what it was. And I think this is a fantastic start to get more people back and involved in the game. Do this for the rest of the game. And I know that takes a lot of time and effort and money, but I think you owe it to the people who are dedicated to your game, because not only are you supporting the players who normally wouldn't do these activities, who may be playing the game, but you're also supporting the veterans, because people are now engaging with Explore mode, who are learning how to do a dungeon, and then they're taking the opportunity to do the real dungeon or the master version of a dungeon. And so veterans aren't having to babysit and teach and get upset that, well, I asked to know what to do and you don't know what you're doing. Now there's an avenue where everyone can learn to do it, and it will remove some toxicity. It will remove some conflict. There will no longer be an excuse for why people can't do a dungeon. And I think this is a great starting point to help the overall community. Whether you like Destiny or don't like Destiny, or you're done with Destiny, I think we can all agree this is a good thing. Not only that, but being able to get loots, free to play loots, that's great. But let's talk about the loot before we talk about everything else. Actually, no, let's continue the train of positivity, right? Let's do the positives up front. Spire, I'm going to give a negative and then a positive. Spire of a Watcher is probably one of the most boring dungeons, one of the worst dungeons they could have ever chosen. Absolutely just awful. And the loot, incredibly boring. We'll talk more about that. But the changes they did with ultimate mode and eternity mode, I'm assuming is the same thing, just a little easier. The new tweaks, it's very small tweaks, but they do a good enough job that it makes it more entertaining. Like the first encounter, there's a boss fight. The ascent levels, there's mini bosses, and then a giant minotaur boss, like, and it's timed. It adds that excitement that I like the ascent now. It's actually really fun because you're trying to do the puzzle within a time limit, then you have to fight bosses, you have to coordinate it as a team. Whereas it used to be one person did all the work while everyone just killed ads or chilled. This was a perfect way of making it feel like a challenge, and I was actively engaged with the activities. And yes, I know there's people going to be upset, like, why do we need timers? This is the ultimate mode. This is like contest mode, dungeon. The whole point of this is to be a challenge, which is something that people don't understand. It is meant to be a challenge. You have explore mode, which is meant for everyone else, and then you have the challenge for the veterans. It clearly divides the player base based on the modes. Explore for the newbies, for people who want a more casual like challenge but not overly hard. You have the regular eternity mode, and then for the uber sweats, you have ultimate mode. And I liked all the changes they did. It makes the dungeon refreshed. It adds more challenge and interest, and it makes me not yawn nearly as much because I actually have to focus and care. Like I said, some of them are just very minimal changes, and some of them are pretty substantial, like the timer on ascent and the bosses, or like at the final boss is just a minimal change. Having to do the nodes in a specific order based on the shape that pops up. Not much going on there, but overall, it was fine. It's fine. I think all this is a plus. I would like to see more of this in the future. Like I said, the negatives. We were just Spire of Watcher and Ghost of the Deep are probably one of the least liked dungeons, and Pit of Heresy has had zero love, whereas Prophecy's been updated like 3 or 4 times already. It's so weird how much that already free to play dungeon has been loved. But Pit of Heresy needs some love. Shattered Throne needs some love. I don't understand why we didn't touch those. It's really weird. Spire is probably the most forgettable, missable dungeon, and I think it's absolutely stupid that they chose this one. It's stupid, in my opinion. I'm gonna fast forward the video just to the next encounter, the Ascent. Yeah, let's do this. The weapons. The whole reason to do Rites of the Nine. I did a review on the weapons, but I'm going to say it now. First off, the whole concept of splitting up the variants was fucking stupid. There's normal, shiny, normal. There's adept and adept shinies. One half of those are absolutely already made pointless because adepts are not needed. There's nothing about adepts that make them stand out, except for maybe if you're using PvP, maybe just like on the shotgun, maybe if like none of the weapons are like PvP meta. Let's just be bluntly honest. So you don't care about like extra range, even though I still think the enhanced mod range is better because you get 6 range and 6 handling or stability, which is pretty juiced on most weapons. And that's the clear problem. Like that is the problem with how Bungie is power crept, is that enhancing a gun and using enhancing mods are better than the adept versions. But then they made it to where now it's just, if you get a shiny normal, that's it. That's the juice. That's all you care about. It is just pointless, and it kills the farm. Like, no, most people are in agreement that farming the ultimate mode is pointless. That, or they're farming the first encounter, which is like the easiest. Like, there's no reason to do a full run. There's no reason to farm the final boss. They shot themselves in the foot when you can just farm the explore mode and get shinies. Yes, I did explore and I got a shiny out of it. So farming Explore with a bunch of randos and never having to worry about failing, getting a shiny is significantly better than actually wasting your time doing contest mode. It is only worth it for the title. They shot themselves in the foot. I don't know why. In this sense, it is actually like Pantheon, where most people did Pantheon the one time just to get the emblems. And once they did, got their title, they were done. They're like, peace, I'm done. But they also tried to do the whole Into the Light where you want to farm for weapons, but the weapons are pointless. The perks are ass. They're like, some of these weapons are worse than seasonal weapons, which makes no sense that we had such juicers of Into the Light weapons, but these weapons are just mostly ass, except for maybe a couple of them. They're just hot garbage. Unless you're a new player. If you're a new player or casual or returning player, you're going to find some treasure where other people see coal or garbage. Like, I'm not going to paint the bucket that everyone's going to think this is garbage, but people, if you've already been playing Destiny, like if you've played Destiny since Into the Light, you're most likely looking at this and thinking, man, these weapons suck ass compared to that. If you're just now starting Destiny and getting into Destiny, you're probably going to find things that you could use from this. And my honest opinion is don't waste your time farming for adept versions. Just get the shiny versions or the normal versions. Farm Explore mode and try to get a shiny. I've gotten like 2 shinies to drop. And I'm like, cool. Don't need to touch these weapons anymore. It's crazy. They chose some of the worst weapons or dungeons with the worst weapons. Except for like Prophecy has like maybe some all right, nothing exciting. Ghost of the Deep has literally the best rocket for stasis. Cool SMG. I feel like Pit would have been interesting with a weapon refresh. They literally could have done Shatter Throne. Yeah, we've had Dreaming City weapon refreshes like multiple times, but I feel like there's an opportunity that they could have refreshed them anyways. I don't know. I'm beating dead horse, but you get the point. The weapons themselves are not exciting, so there's no reason to farm unless you're a new player. And if you're a new player, you're farming Explore mode anyways. As someone who was planning to farm Ultimate Contest mode, who was planning to farm some of these, all my desire just went down the toilet. Like I have spent no time playing this mode except for footage, and that's it. For my review of it, I have had no reason to farm this week, like period. There's been no desire, I must have. Like I'm actively bankrupt when it comes to, man, I want to play this game, which is crazy because Into the Light was the complete opposite, where I was playing every single day. I was farming Onslaught. It says Onslaught, but Onslaught constantly. I was doing the thing because I wanted it. Not so much here, maybe. And I know I'm not the only one. We've seen it. Hell, even Dado posted to talk about how the weapons are like a clear. He was surprised. He was very like, what? This is it? Like, this is not what I was expecting. But that's it, man. Like, I think I actually get a shiny here. Do I get a shiny here? I'm not for sure if I get a shiny here. No, I don't get a shiny. But yeah. That's my first impressions. We've still got Ghost of the Deep to showcase. We still have Prophecy, and who knows, maybe farming those will be more rewarding. Maybe if we get more hands on those weapons, they'll be more rewarding. But the weapons we have currently at this moment that I have actually played with, not that exciting. I'm sorry, it's not exciting. I'm disappointed, and I'm not shitting the shit. Because I farmed the crap out of Into the Light, which got me excited for Final Shape. Not only am I not excited for the next expansion, I'm not even excited for Into the Light. I am excited for Heavy Metal, though, which I will give my first impression of after tomorrow. But I'll be late playing because I have School Carnival. Yeah, I'm going to be hanging out with the kids after TCG and a School Carnival. Like, I'm going to be living my life. And honestly, I'm in no rush. I think Heavy Metal will be fantastic, but I think we've seen all it has to offer. I'm just going to play and have a good time. That's it. I don't think we're going to get any weapons or gear out of it. I'm just going in for the fun of just turning my brain off and having robot tank fights. Like, that sounds badass to me. Again, I tried to be a little bit more positive about the positive. absolutely think this event will benefit people who are new or returning. It as if you're a veteran, I just don't feel like you're going to get a lot of benefit out of it. Outside of getting the title and emblem, that's probably about as much as we're going to care about. Or if you've been behind for so long and you don't have like a specific archetype. But honestly, that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. What have you thought about it? Again, ultimate mode, the challenge is there. I thought it was fun and exciting. Definitely put effort. I just don't think the reward is there for the effort that you put into it. But I think it was a fantastic display of reinventing older content. I think explore mode is exactly what we need for the rest of the game. That's it. That's my thought, my first impressions. Once we do everything, I'll actually make a script and actually be more succinct and more focused. This is just kind of freeballing my first impression about everything. So as always, hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. I'll see you guys. And